There we go. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to do a review of the Robot Revolution. I'm joined by my partner once again, Lynn, or known as We Cosplayer. Again, we'll stick all that stuff at the end and I'll put a trailer at the end like last time to promote. But um, so we've just watched the season 2 opener, season 41 opener, whatever you want to call it. I know I never do reviews for episodes usually, but it's kind of there's a main reason why we're doing this, which I won't go into. But also, I thought because I have someone to review these episodes with now, it's more fun that way. It's better doing a review of a person rather than just on your own.
Of course.
So I just thought. Plus, we can get different opinions of each other because, well, from what I'm seeing now, I didn't like this. She thought it was okay. However, I've not checked Twitter at all once today, but people are praising it like 7, 8, 9 out of 10. I was like, what? Sorry, what? We're just seeing that at all.
I think he's more down to the theme of that one.
Maybe, which we'll go into that, but yeah, people are praising this, which I really don't get. But anyway, right. So yeah, it's a review for the Robot Revolution. Is there anything else to go over? Yeah, tell you what, guys, I've gave up on broadcast time. I'll tell you that right now. It's going at fucking 8 a.m. and midnight last year. 8 a.m. doesn't really fix things. Because now the USA gets it at 3 a.m. So it's just like, what we're trying to do with this anymore? Can you just
3 a.m. normal for them for new stuff coming out.
I know that, but I mean for people to be, because they were trying to tune it in with like 7 p.m. last year, and we get it at fucking midnight, which was very unfair, obviously. So now it's like, and then it was still broadcast, but now it's no. They get it at 3, we get it at 8, and it's like, it's a Saturday fucking morning. Most people aren't. People are still going to work that day. A lot of people aren't going to be fucking tuning in.
To be honest, the average person will be in their bed.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the point of this. Doesn't really change anything because with midnight, yeah, you had that choice of maybe staying up, which we done for like 2 episodes, but I gave up on all that staying up and fucking what was I gonna say staying up and try to watch it at broadcast time because God, I mean, I'm glad we didn't wait for broadcast time for this because we're about to go out for the day, which, sunshine and everything. I want that instead rather than fucking try to get back home for this. And I'm glad we didn't rush for this because, oh my God, and we won't be doing that this season at all. I think watching it at broadcast time, we will just fucking watch it as soon as it's up. Where we get up, watch it, and then we'll probably head out for the day, whatever depends going on. But honestly, the point I'm getting at here is this doesn't fix anything. It's still it's I don't get it. Why can't you just put it up when it fucking broadcasts here in the
Yes.
USA?
At the point I've made many
2 p.m.
many times. It's British made.
Yeah.
It's made by the BBC.
Yep.
Co-production went bad. Well,
Not the main companies people are making out to be.
Disney might have a production credit.
Yep, and that's it.
For the streaming rights only.
Yeah.
And maybe a few footnotes.
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
But by law, there's a co-production between BBC and Bad Wolf. So it should be aired on British TV and coincided on iPlayer at the same time.
Yeah.
Because not everybody watches international TV nowadays, which is fair enough. But Disney and the rest of the world could get it after
Yeah.
it aired
Yeah.
on BBC. So that will be about 8, half 8, 9 o'clock, whatever, our time.
Yeah, so then we get about 3 p.m.
What, on even the next day if they want to do that.
Yeah.
But getting it early.
I think they were doing that at one point actually.
Getting it early to fit through a platform ain't going to work because we're going to have big arguments across the board. It was different for Disney when it came to things like Marvel, TV stuff and stuff like that because we were getting it about 8, 9 in the morning.
Yeah, which is
When about midnight American time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's East or Pacific, one of them.
One of those.
Which made more sense because it's an American song.
Sure, yeah, exactly.
So why can't we have the same concept? It would be nice, rather than it going, everything's made by America, let's just do American time, let's keep America happy. No, because the only one's winning out of this is Australia. Because they have it at their
tea time, yeah, exactly.
So they're the ones winning this season.
Yeah, as Josh Nair's famous. I would stick that tweet on the screen, but I don't want to edit this video. This is all one take, but because I don't have time to edit today. This is getting uploaded as soon as we finish recording. But yeah, Josh Nair's put out a tweet. Hi Josh Nair, he's probably not watching this, but Josh Nair's put out a tweet saying all of you should stop moaning. You get it at 8 AM, the USA gets it at 3 AM, Australia we get it at 6, we win. Which, you know, yeah, you are correct. The only people who are see, this is what annoys me. Can we just not put it out at a normal time? Because what is the difference? What does that bring in putting it at fucking 3 in the USA and then like fucking 8 AM here? It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help anything. All you have to do is broadcast it here in the UK, like 6:30, whatever. I don't even know what fucking time it airs today because I've no checked. But just put it on, air it, and then put it on all streaming platforms and iPlayer when it's aired, and that should be it. It shouldn't be any harder than that and difficult.
Well, going off what was put into that, the Gladiators final tonight, and I'm presuming that'll be about 7 East.
Right, so that's probably about.
I would say about
6:15.
6, half 6.
6, yeah, 6:15.
Would probably be the scheduled time.
Yeah.
Going from knowing how Saturday TV works.
Yeah.
Because back in the day I was using what I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about all that. Let's actually talk about the robot revolution. So, because I don't have much to say about this, and it's kind of hard to do a review when you don't have a lot to say about something. That's why, like Church on Ruby Road, I had nothing to say about that other than it's like 3 good things, 3 bad things, whatever. Right. What did you think? Your first impressions, fresh off of watching it?
It has potential. I'll see what it's trying to do in terms of AI because it's a big problem.
I'm not surprised they've tackled that already.
It's a big problem because for the ones who are more active on social media would have seen 2 big things at the moment.
Yeah.
One, the sort of Ghibli AI stuff that's kicking about, and also the latest one, the action figure doll.
Yeah, that's going about. Yeah.
One that's going about this now, which I personally do like.
Yeah, so do I.
But if you're going to do it, I would either hand draw it.
Yeah.
Draw it digitally.
Yeah.
Or do what I'm going to maybe try and do, and do using product photos and photos of my own and a bit of Canva just to get the basic layout and stuff.
Yeah.
The bit that I can't really cut out of photos that I have or my product photos or whatever and clip them together, do it that way, it makes more sense.
Sorry.
Because at the end of the day, the same with the Ghibli one, all it's doing is feeding AI. AI is better. And then traditional artists become non-existent because everybody's doing it on AI.
Yeah.
And one, they're out of work. 2, they end up losing their passion for something they enjoy doing.
Yes.
And 3, everything's going to start looking the same. Because I understand big businesses doing it because that big businesses, they want to hit the trend to get the customers into the door. But we could solely be supporting small businesses, small artists and small creators. So please, if you're seeing the trend, find another way to do it if you want to take part.
Right. Yeah.
Stay away from AI altogether. Because as this episode basically showed you,
Yeah.
if we stick with AI and keep going the way we're going,
Go on.
it's going to take over.
Yeah. Oh no. Well,
And
100%.
as Stephen Hawking always believed for years,
Mhm.
AI and robots will overtake. He believed that for years.
Yes. Yeah.
So if the greatest mind in the world is telling you to be aware,
Yeah.
then shouldn't we be standing up and taking charge and listening to that?
Yeah. We done this in 1966 with Ian Stewart Black and the War Machines, but yeah, but that's why Ian wrote. Well, that's why Kit Pedler and Ian Stewart Black wrote that. It was to acknowledge the fear of technology taking over. But yes, AI and robots is a similar thing. Again, it's this thing that's really becoming, more advanced than it should be. And again, as I said, I'm not surprised that we've already tackled AI in the show now, given AI has been pretty much around since like 2019. I remember when it started coming out, and it was on Remini, the photo restoration app. I used it a lot for that. It's good for photo restoration, but in terms of making art, like for example, last year Big Finish, they were using AI for their covers, which when people realised what was going on with that, it started to become really obvious. And when you compare the backgrounds in those covers to the previous ones done by actual artists, yeah, you can see how much of a shit comparison it is. Of course, the fucking ones that people actually made look a lot better than AI generated stuff. The thing is, me and Lynn have talked about this. It's fine using it for certain things, like restoration. Like they use I could tell they've been using restoration on the collection sets like the last 4 years now. Pretty much since season 8 came out, they've been using it. I could tell when that box set came out. I was like, right, yeah, they've used some AI. Because even when that started coming about, I was like, do you know what? I will not be surprised if they use that for the collection sets, and they have. In season 7, it's became more apparent.
But they're using it in the right way. It's only really to
Yeah.
tidy things up, smooth things out.
Yeah.
It's not the
Creating a whole thing.
image or sole purpose of what they're creating. It's only they've already done all the work.
Yeah.
They're just overlaying a bit of AI on just to do the tiny bits that the technology's not quite there for. Just because one, it's very old footage, and two, there's a lot of blemishes and stuff that traditionally we might just not see to be able to take out. So using it for that is fine, but if you're using it as your base and then building on top of that, no. Stay away from it. Not worth it.
Right. What was I going to say? That was it. As I said to you when we were watching it, I wonder if, this is just a joke, but I wonder if RTD wrote that to take a stab at Ian Levine. But it was the robot. I see when I realised what was going on in the episode, and there was one of the robots was in the background. I was like, it's like the Absorbaloff all over again. The reason why the Absorbaloff got created, or you can tell got created, was to do a parody of Ian Levine.
See, that wasn't what was sticking out for me, as I said. For me, quite early on, because we've seen the robot very early on in the episode, my brain just clicked on to, we've had similar before, because they're not that far off. Actually, no, we've had 3 times. I thought I'd take 2 earlier. No, actually 3, because one, we've had them when they done the Amy and 11 Doctor.
Yeah, the girl who waited.
Right?
Yeah.
Then we also had it with 12 and Bill. Similar shape.
And what?
12 and Bill.
Yeah, and what?
The happy face one.
Oh, Smile. Yeah.
And then...
That's what they reminded me of. Yeah.
And then also, if anybody remembers the Sarah Jane Adventures one where the planet got up being wiped.
Yeah, the red and yellow.
And they're using the big robot.
Yeah, the red.
So, because part of it's the faces and part of it's the bills, so we've had similar
we had similar things before.
So it's like, no need again, Can we get a different design, please? Because I'm just fed up with it. Not all robots have to be big and clunky.
No, they really don't. I mean, you know, I sat down on the couch to have breakfast and I looked over at the shelf over there. I was like, oh, the K1 robot, these won't be as good as him. And of course they fucking weren't, because the K1 robot has a character. But yeah, the robots, I mean, that was like the big thing for it. It's just like, again, the face thing reminded me of the emoji bots. That's what I was thinking with them. I want to speak. I'm not finished. But they remind me of the emoji bots. I'm trying to. What was I going to say? Because I'm tired. So, go on. Can't remember what I was going to say.
But what I did like the idea of, though, because it is an episode based around the topic of AI and stuff, I did like the kind of hints and nods at sci-fi in general.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the big AI robot, right, you can see it looks very Transformers-like.
Yeah, I said that. No, I'm the fan.
The AI plus Alan, you can see Terminator style.
Oh yeah, it was very Terminator.
And then when you see the flashback to him arriving on the planet and becoming part of the machine, you can see a sort of Jedi, Star Wars theme.
Yeah.
And then go back to what I previously said on the whole using the same robot, you can tend to say, right, okay, the plug Doctor Who at the AI and that's when it's generated those robots again.
Robots, yeah, exactly.
So it kind of
it
works and doesn't work at the same time, but it's nice little nod to prove that that's what AI is doing. It's just plugging stuff that people have already done before and plugging it into something else.
Yeah, that was a really good, interesting point that she made, because when of course, being a Transformers fan, I noticed that thing. Look, like the eyes are exactly like the Michael Bay ones. It's unreal, and I said Michael Bay's going to sue them. But the eyes are so spot on in the face, and I was like, the fuck, what Transformers ripoff? And then obviously that guy who was wearing the white and sort of brown like robes, he looked like a fucking Jedi. And again, when I didn't know, because the guy who's been plugged in, I didn't notice it straight away. But when you said, like, oh, this is like sort of sci-fi nods, I was like, oh yeah, Terminator, and I think that's what they're going for. Again, it's good bringing in that point of like we've plugged stuff in and it's generating stuff, much like the robots. It's reused things, but see, there's sort of nice ideas, but at the same time, like this is nothing special.
I had nothing special.
We've had Revolution stories before.
I think that's kind of part of the point as well, and why I kind of felt the episode was a bit meh. I had interesting points, but I think because they are going for an AI story, they kept a very basic story to relate the point, but did do anything exciting?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, AI isn't that exciting anyway, because everybody's doing the same thing and look at it all looks the same. So I think that maybe playing more on that point as well.
Yeah.
From my point of view anyway, some could say bad writing or not great writing, but I think it might have been slightly deliberate just on because it is an AI themed story.
It might have been slightly deliberate. I don't think we'll know that until we watch Unleashed, which we have not watched yet. Or if they don't say an Unleashed, then perhaps we'll never know. But I get the feeling R2D might own up to it at some point and actually say, you know, maybe that was slightly deliberate. But my problem is, and it was going into this, right, I've had no excitement for this season, like, at all, which doesn't really tend to happen to me, because, like, in the last couple of years, I've been excited for Series 10, 11, 12, Flux, and Season 1. That's the correct names for them, obviously. And even in the last 24 hours, the more the years have gone on, the more less excited I become for, like, a new season or episode of Doctor Who. But usually, and almost always happens, in those last 24 hours before it airs, it kicks in, like, all the excitement that it's going to be on. And that did happen with Season 1 last year. But Joy to the World, I felt nothing. Maybe it's just because it was Christmas and things were busy. But this time, I've not, because I've stayed away from most of the promotion as well. I've not really looked at trailers. I've only seen
I've seen bad floating around.
I've only seen trailers because she's shown me them. However, I've not really looked at promotion. I've not looked at clips, trailers, and I didn't watch any of the clips they've released during the week. But because I think I'm just going to stay away from all that now and try and go into stuff fresh. But I had no excitement for this season at all, and I knew going into this it would be very typical, cliche, whimsy, wacky RTD series opener, and it was exactly what I expected it to be, much like his finale last year. It's just exactly what I expected it to be, because it depends on what you like. But yes, I know people are very nostalgic for that first year of RTD, so you know they like shit like New Earth and and which she likes for some reason. Smith and
New Earth is great.
No,
Quite fun.
no, it's not. People say in the comments if New
It's
Earth
fun.
is good.
Prove them wrong.
Smith and Jones is alright. But Partners in Crime's definitely his best, I'd say.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that.
I always forget about Rose. Rose is okay. I watched it recently because obviously 20th anniversary I knew it, but I don't feel much towards it. I think it's because
It's nostalgic because it's autumn.
Well, it's became nostalgic now, but I just
It's autumn, so that's why it's nostalgic.
yeah.
Even when the book came out, for a lot of fans who have seen
Spearhead
classic
and
stuff
Terror,
and all
yeah.
that would have recognised those. So
No, I know. And it's became nostalgic now, but it's just I'm not like, oh, this is amazing. It's just like, yeah, it's just, it's just launch of a new era. And then the shooty's now had 2 shit series openers, being Space Babies and Robot Revolution. And I've noticed as well, he's at least in my opinion, he's had a rubbish Christmas special and series opener back to back, just in my opinion, being Church and Ruby Road, Space Babies, and Joy the World. Now this, he's not had like. I just want him to have a great new series opener, and to me, he's not. To me, he's not to me.
Because Joy didn't do much for me.
No.
Space Baby, I wasn't a fan of at all. The season 1 opener for me just felt a lot like 2005 all over again.
Yeah.
And Chops and Ruby Road. It was a decent episode.
Yeah.
But for what it was meant to do, it did not feel like a companion story introduction at all, because of a lot of problems on how the companion didn't feel the thing the companion should feel.
Yeah.
Whereas with Belinda, this time round,
let's come on to that.
he did feel the stuff she was meant to feel, and even though she was a bit more clued on, because she's a nurse, so she will be a bit of a smart woman. To not
she's more
to understand it, be a bit more on the ball, and not be frightened or scared by it.
Yeah.
But you can see she's like puzzled, unsure.
Yeah.
But at the same time going, people die, people need help. What can I do?
Yeah.
Which I felt was kind of lost in some companions previously, like Yaz and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
where
they have this thing, they just don't use it.
Really give the character the development they needed.
He did, yeah.
With the jobs and titles that they gave them in the first couple of episodes.
Yeah. Mel's guilty of that from the classic series. She's a computer programmer from Peace Pottage. It's one line and then it's never ever fucking used ever again. But now they're doing it, which is good.
Because with Mel, you would think he's more of a fitness guru.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you would think that.
But at the same time, that's very 80s.
Oh, it is very 80s, but
everybody was on the diet and fitness fads of the 80s.
Yeah.
Everybody done them more than they did in the 90s.
Yeah, and another good example of that is Steven, I'd say. He's a good character, but they don't really explore him being a ex-space pilot and what he might have seen. And,
they don't, but
which is a shame.
You sort of get hints of it.
You do get hints
he's
of it.
Braver, he's smarter.
Yeah, he is brave and smart.
And he understands and picks things up a bit quicker than everybody else.
No, he does.
So you get hints of it.
But he just...
They
could have done more with it.
When they only mentioned much.
No, they could have done more with it, I think, But I'm bringing up companions who are guilty of that, where they have this job, but it's never explored. Yeah, Belinda, she is a nurse. It's her first episode. Obviously, we saw her briefly in Boom last year, or an iteration of her character, whatever.
Yeah, Descendant.
Descendant.
When I'm kind of wondering, because as I said to you, I might be proven wrong because of how the episode ended, but I think this might be sort of Girl Who Waited. No, the Girl Who Waited. What did I say it was?
Impossible Girl.
Impossible Girl, that's the one. Part 2, in a sense of every person we're meeting is a different
version. Yeah.
Maybe not the whole time stuff, because I felt that was a bit much.
Yeah.
For Clara, and once you knew she was a Impossible Girl, it lost its purpose entirely.
It did, yeah.
But I think every person might be a different person and not the same person. So I think we're going to see multiple versions of her. They might be descendants, but I think they're going to be descendants of her again and again and again and again.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's also kind of nice to see Missy Flood again.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it.
And obviously, as you can tell from the last episode, and the way she spoke to us and her packing up, we knew she was moving on elsewhere. We didn't know where. We just knew she was moving on. And now we know she's doing something similar and moved right now to Belinda, because Belinda's now the important target to the next part of whatever our target was for Ruby.
Right, Lynn, we know, we've seen that all on screen. We're talking about our thoughts. Anyway, it's just time, that's all. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, of course, she randomly popped up. RTD has said she'll be at least in one appearance in every episode this season, as far as we know. Anyway, Belinda, it's her first episode. I don't know what to say. She's okay. I don't really care about her. And God, the amount of characters that died in this episode. You're like, oh, you meant to cry. You meant to, but oh no, they're dead. It's like, we didn't fucking know them. So what do you want? What do you want? This is Chibnall era writing again. He brings in characters. He gives them a sad backstory. He kills them in the first 5 minutes. Oh, I'm supposed to feel sad that his son is ill, his wife is dying, whatever. You don't develop the fucking character, so I can't care for them because I don't know them. That was the same thing again.
Yeah.
Stop making characters we're supposed to care about.
The only
thing
I would say is, you kind of see why, you can understand why the Doctor was sad, because he's been around a bit longer. Yeah. But other than that,
we didn't see that.
Other than that, we feel nothing.
Yes.
We always feel what the Doctor's feeling, because we know the Doctor been in a bit longer.
Exactly. That's the only impact it'll make.
Anywho.
It's so annoying.
I am super excited for next week.
Yeah. Right, I've not finished talking about the... Right, you're jumping ahead here. I've not finished talking about the episode.
Time.
What?
Time.
Yeah.
What time?
Yes. Right. Sorry, she's guilty for that. Anyway, right. You're fine. Right. Anyway, sorry about that, because I have one more thing to say. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, pretty much the last thing I have to say about this, that people kept theorising, like, oh, they're going to appear. Well, fuck yous, no Daleks. I was right. So people kept saying there was going to be Daleks because of those ships and ray effects, and also the extermination ray effect, as I'm going to keep calling it. However, RTD did confirm before this season started airing there'll be no return of monsters this season, so Daleks are obviously included in that. And people seem to keep forgetting that he wants to give them like a show rest, because I don't think they're going to come in until probably towards the end of his third season. I think the season 3 finale is when the Daleks will come in for the show. Might be proving on, it might be season 4. Which good. Please give them that long rest. They really need it. You can't have them fucking appear every year anymore, because it just demeans them and makes them lesser and lesser every time. You need to do a resurrection of the Daleks where they weren't on TV for 5 years, and they have a great big impact when they come back. We need stuff like that again. We can't just keep having them appear every year. So, they might to be honest, I think the Terry Nation cameo estate is all done now. You know, I don't think there hasn't been a thing for like the last 6 years, but yeah, I think that'll be it. So as she kept saying Daleks, 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 and many other people kept saying, and I was sitting there to be, and I clocked this about a week ago. I was like, I think those shits will be from the Robot Revolution and not the finale. I love the ray effect that they used to kill people. I think that should be the new Dalek extermination ray effect because it's basically like the skeleton, then it just sort of fades out. But people have also seen that in the trailer. Oh, Daleks! No, it wasn't Daleks. So I was right. Anyway, I don't think there's anything else to say. But most of this review has been taken up by her saying things. But in a short summary from me, it's sorry, there's a notification. In a shorter summary from me, it was typical cliche RTD series opener shite, and if that's just how he writes new series openers, then whatever. That's why I didn't expect anything from it. Because I was like, this is going to be exactly what I expected, and it was. The same with the finale last year. That's what I expected it to be. Deus Ex Machina ending, you know, just reverse everything, no consequences whatsoever, and I expect this finale to be no different. So this is what I mean. My enthusiasm's just completely like, you know, it's weird not being excited for Doctor Who, but I don't know. I can't get excited about it because I know what I'm expecting in terms of writing wise. RTD's writing has not changed for the show ever since he left. It really hasn't at all. That's why I'm excited for the episodes that aren't written by him this season because I want new talent. I don't want the same thing to be written by the same person all the time. We need new talent, especially in this show. We really need new talent. But I am excited for next week, as Lynn just previously said there, because obviously it's tapping into cartoons and history, which, you know, Doctor Who's never done before, crossed the live action with 2D animation, which is making me think of like, what's the fuck's it called? The Looney Tunes thing, what the hell's it called?
Back in action.
Back in Action, that's it. Of which they technically, had Daleks in that, so, you know, bit of crossing over there. But yeah, it reminds me of that. Because that's what I grew up with in terms of like live action crossing with animation. So I'm really glad we're finally doing that. And obviously that little weird blue guy is voiced by Alan Cumming. So I'm tremendously excited for that. That's the only episode that I'm excited for this season out of the other 7 others. That is the only one I'm excited for, which is a shame. I'm looking forward to the Mrs. Flood revealed because I think that Nashiri has said in interviews like, oh, there's going to be the best reveal. So I'm assuming.
I don't know. I don't think we'll get everything.
No.
I think we might get a step closer.
Yeah.
To more hints on. Yeah, this is who she is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still saying Rani, regardless, because people have been hinting about the Big Three.
Yeah, people have been saying that a lot.
Rani we've not seen yet in a long time, so that'll be a good shout.
Not since 87.
We might maybe see another season of the Master, maybe. Yeah. But I don't think we'll see Sutex again, even though we've got glimpses of music from him, but
no music.
I think that might just be hinting at something similar and trying to deceive us a little.
I forgot to point that out. Yeah, as Lynn just said, music, well, sound effect. Yeah, but if he's not, I'm pretty sure people have noticed this, but when the TARDIS was like out of sync in that towards the end there, they're fucking using that bloody Sutex sound effect. It's the same sound. And I was like, no, I doubt they'll bring it back again this season. I think it's just a fucking case of either reusing the bloody music, which I don't think they would do now. That's more of a classic Who thing. If not that, then it might just be to mislead us a little bit. But yeah, people are saying the big three for this finale, which, I mean, it might be. We'll have to wait and see. But overall, what would you give this out of 10?
Solid 6.
God, that's too high.
It had potential. I give it a 4.
I'd give it a 4.
That's way too low.
Nah, that's right for it.
No, it's not.
Looks nice, great. I love the extermination ray effect. That was the best thing in the whole. I'll never shut up about them. I like the yellow Sonic. That's pretty cool. That's pretty much it. Is there anything else left to say? No. Do you have anything else left to say?
Not really.
No, usual shout outs and badges and what have you. Do you want to run by that again? I'll step the trail at the end.
Basically, if you want to check out what I'm doing cosplay wise, I'm on most social media, so Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Blue Sky, Thread, you name it. Just look for Albie Cosplayer and you can find pretty much everything. At the moment, updating my shop, so that will, it's in the process of getting updated. So there'll be stuff there to check on my copy page. But you can jump on this now and see some of the other stuff I'm doing. And if you want to support me, so membership tiers, tips and stuff if you want to. So I change my way. At the end of the day, everything goes back into either making more products for the shop or the next coffee. So everything will go back into content in some stage. And concentrating on vlogs for my recent con and content coming up, along with reposting some of my TikToks on YouTube as well.
Give her your money. She really needs it. No, she's fine. But a lot of support would be very well loved here and needed. And yes, I'll stick all that in the description, links, everything like last time. Yeah, usual stuff, etc., etc. Is that it?
Very much.
Good. Right. Anyway, we'll see you next week for Lux. Hopefully it's good. Right. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.